a part of me isn't that shocked, but I am surprised that so many people are going after Warcorpse this hard over his views on the female. That's why I'm both surprised because, it's just a culture shock that things have changed this much in like a few years, but it's that plus the fact I'm not too surprised because he does go after the female, and that's a more protected class than the freaking Jews or whatever, because I'm using this as an allegory. If you were to talk bad about blacks, or Jews, or Muslims, or whites, or Asians, or anything, compared to women, would you get as much, resistance? If I was to say all Muslims are violent, backward, religious fundamentalists that cut off their kids' feet, or something like that, you would be upset. You would be like, that's fucking racist. But you would not disagree. At least not to the degree of what you do when Warcorpse talks about women. So, like, you'd be like, okay, there's a lot of violent Muslims, but of course you're going to say, not all Muslims. Well, no shit, not all Muslims, but not enough so for you to even invoke that, wording. You're not going to say not all Muslims, because there's a lot of fucking Muslims that do that. There's ISIS, there's the Taliban, there's, Sudan, whatever. So what you're going to do is then try to say, oh, well, that's why we have, we try to introduce more liberal culture. This is why we have, good economic policies so that they have a better standard of living and they don't turn to that reactionary politics, blah, 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 blah. But you don't actually, get infuriated with him and, go on about, no, not all Muslims. And it isn't all Muslims, but I'm just making, like I said, an allegory. The allegory is with Jews, the same thing. A lot of people, let's face it, a lot of people don't like Jews. And it's not that all Jews are conniving, evil bankers that control the earth's resources. Of course not. That's impossible. But we know Israel sucks. We know there's a lot of asshole Jewish people out there. We know there's a lot of rich Jewish people out there. So, again, we know in our head not all XYZ, but we're not going to say it because there's no need to say it. Because the fact of the matter is a large portion of them contribute to a negative consequence within society, and that is more important than pointing out, the exception to the rule, or even the majority to the rule. Because, like, in Jews' case, the vast majority of them aren't Israelites. They aren't, fucking the overlords of the world, Illuminati. But the point is that because some of those exist, I don't need to fucking go out of my way to say not all Jews. But when it comes to women, not all women. Why? Why? Who fucking cares? Yes, of course, not all women. I could name one off the top of my head, the Kitty Wonder. Not all women. But fact of the matter is, a lot of women. A lot of women to where I don't need to say it. I don't need to justify it. It's there. Warcorpse is entitled to his opinion. Warcorpse is actually right in this case. Everything he says is true. Whether or not I like it, whether or not you like it, whether or not it is literally 100% of the vaginal population of the Earth's core, doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, why do you need to be like not all women? Well, that's because you worship women, and that's your insecurity. That's not on Warcorpse. That's your own problem and your own issues where you feel the need to defend women, because if you don't, oh, you're gay, you're incel, you're this, you're that. And that, that says something about your society that you're not willing to acknowledge. But you want to pawn it off on Warcorpse as being misogynist. You know what? He should be misogynist. There's plenty of reason to be misogynist. But, and it comes, that's why he's an atheist too, because the same arguments, well, number one, because you're worshiping women as a god, but number two, the same arguments you would make applicable to religion you do with women or this or with that, because not all women. Well, look at all the terrible things God has done in the Bible. Well, not all gods. Oh, okay, maybe, but that's not the point. Oh, well, God did this good thing. Well, that doesn't justify me worshiping him as the you know, most divine being, the Judaic God that is our savior, and not all. So see, you're always playing defensive, but we're supposed to pretend like there isn't a reason for that. No, you're fucking stupid. You know, the Christian Bible is full of terrible, horrible stories. Women are full of terrible, horrible stories. Jews are full of terrible, horrible stories. It's all fucking terrible. And you're just making women an exception where you would not make the exception to black crime, to Jews, to Muslims, to Christianity, because you want to get laid. That's what it comes down to. You want to get laid. Warcorpse has higher priorities than that. So Warcorpse is the bigger man.